So guys, this is another technique that I have been a lot of people asking me. It's like how to escape from the spider guard plus the lasso, right? So we had that in my first instructional DVD, but let's cover some details here that we didn't cover in the last one. And I really like this position because this is one more position that proves that this type of game, you don't need to be athletic, you don't need to be fast, you don't need to be strong. You can take your piece and you don't need, I mean, like it's pretty simple what you gotta do. There are some details, but it's not too many details. So let's imagine that my opponent sets up the spider guard plus the lasso, right? So he got the spider guard and the lasso here, right? So look guys, I'm in this situation, right? So guys, first thing I want to get rid here, it's the spider guard. So to make sure I get rid of this, I'm going to do the same thing we used in the last position. So I'm going to stretch his arm here, and he's going to keep stretching his leg, and I'm going to move my hand palm up. So my hand's going to go palm up, palm up, palm up, and I'm going to make sure I stretch his foot as much as possible towards the forearm. So you guys can see here that's towards the forearm. Once I did that, I'm going to lift up my knee and I'm going to bump against his heel. So I'm going to do this, right? Now my hand is going to go underneath his pants and I'm going to start switching my hand towards the ground and kind of like imagine you want to punch the mat. So I'm going to do this and start moving towards the mat here, right? Once I did that, I'm going to start covering his foot, keeping as heavy as possible on him. Right? Now I'm going to break that grip and I'm going to reach the over-under again. Right? Once I got the over-under, I'm going to do everything the same. I'm going to stretch the leg down, drive to the middle, jump, and pass. Right? So let's see again in the other angle. So look, fighting against my opponent, he's going to stretch his leg. Right? I'm gonna stretch my arm, stretch. Look, my goal is to place, one second, my goal is to place his foot on my forearm, right? So I'm gonna stretch, 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 stretch until it goes there, right? Once it went there, I'm gonna bump his heel against my knee. So I'm gonna do this, look, and I'm gonna break it. Now that I broke it, I'm gonna control around his hip, right? Guys, now I'm fighting against only the lasso. So one thing, I'm going to make sure I keep my elbow closed. If I keep my elbow open like this, he could switch to an omoplata and this and that. So I'm going to keep my elbow closed. Now I'm going to stay on toes and I'm going to bring my hand as a punch to the ground. And I'm going to keep my weight on top of him to make sure I break that grip. So look, I'm going to open up my legs as much as possible. I'm going to push down, push down, push down until I break it. Now my hip is going to go over his foot. I'm going to switch my arm over, and I have the over-under pass. Once I got the over-under, I'm going to drive a little bit to the side, stretch the leg down, drive to the middle, jump, and pass, and I got the passing. Right? So look, one more time. He's going to set up the spider with lasso. I'm going to stretch my arm as much as possible. I'm going to bump his heel against my knee. Look. Break it, control his hip. Now, this hand here is going to go to the ground and I'm going to put my weight on top of him. Once I did that, my hip goes over his foot. Pay attention. Now, I'm going to cover his leg. Go to the over-under. Stretch his leg down. Jump. And pass. And I got side control. So it's not the type of position that I'm gonna move a lot. I'm gonna pretty much stay there little by little, take out the foot on the biceps, take out the lasso. So I really believe that's a very good passing for like the older grappler and even for the young athletic grappler as well. But match for both, because you don't need to be athletic, you don't need to be flexible, you don't need to be fast. You can go little by little and putting your weight on top of him, making a pressure and get the passing. Os.